A sharp sting of light seared through his eyelids, forcing an involuntary blink. Tarsan's face tilted toward the blinding gold. The unforgiving sun loomed above, offering no escape. Because the ropes at his throat held him fast, denying even the smallest relief. His chest was thrust forward, his spine pinned against a twisted trunk that bent him into its cruel grasp. His arms were drawn high above his head, thick ropes coiled around his wrists, every tendon stretched, every muscle exposed beneath the merciless sky. His waist was bound tight to the base of the gnarled wood, bending his back into an agonizing arch. Only his legs remained unbound, but they were not free. They were meant to walk, to be seen, to carry the display of a conquered spirit, paraded through foreign sands. The jungle lord moved among them, a bound figure adrift in a sea of strangers. Unfamiliar warriors, whose spears dictated his every step. When he slowed, the wood jabbed into his ribs, a silent command to press onward. Behind him, voices drifted through the arid air, sons, speaking with another, unfamiliar, but commanding. The words carried just enough for him to hear, perhaps deliberately so. The sun-bleached village of cracked stone and dry ritual was already behind them, abandoned at dawn's first light. The procession wound its way downward from the barren heights, descending into shadowed lowlands. There, the next village waited. Eager, expectant, prepared to receive what had been promised.
Not long now,
came the voice from behind, carried forward like a breeze heavy with warning.
soon, the land will change. The green will welcome us and accept our offering.
The muscular captive heard it clearly. This was no passing reassurance. It was the certainty of a man who knew the path ahead. It had to be the chief of the next tribe. But something about the way he spoke unsettled him. The way he said of the green was not of shelter, but of something waiting. The march pressed downward, the barren wasteland fading behind them as the land shifted. Then, the meaning behind that chieftain's words stood before them, sealing the path ahead. A towering wall of thorns, dense and unbroken. More than a natural growth, it was a deliberate barrier, A fortress of cactus, a living shield against all who dared approach. No beast, man, or even the jungle would trespass without consequence. Tarsan's suspicion was confirmed. The next ordeal had begun. The procession halted before the wall. Silence fell. Not the hush of hesitation, but the sacred stillness of ritual. One warrior stepped forward. In practiced motion, he raised his hand toward the spines, ready to give his own blood, as their kind had done for generations to gain passage. But then a voice, calm yet absolute, cut through the ritual.
No.
His chieftain said.
Today, we have something greater to offer.
All eyes turned to Tarsan. The sacrifice had already been chosen. The thorns beyond would pierce, not just flesh but pride. They would burn. They would claim. Jungle beasts avoided them out of instinct. But the jungle lord would know them by pain. The chieftain led Sun and the others toward their hidden path. A narrow passage, known only to their kind, weaving safely through the thorned fortress. With seasoned ease, they disappeared into the dense grain, untouched by the waiting spines. But Tarsan was granted no such mercy. Two warriors seized his bound form, dragging him toward the steep rise before the cactus wall. Forced upward, he stumbled, his bare feet scraping against the rough incline, loose stones shifting beneath him. The ropes at his chest and throat pulled tighter, forcing his back into a deeper arch, his body straining against the cruel restraints. At the top, the sight below told him everything. A maze of thorns stretched so dense and unyielding that the earth could not be seen between the spiny limbs. The cactus forest rolled down the hill in waves of green daggers, packed so tightly that there was no open space to fall into, no open ground to brace against. Every movement would cost him. The warriors did not pause. Without a word, they shoved him forward. His body pitched forward under its own weight. Gravity took hold. His feet scrambled but found no purchase. There was no path. No relief. Only the waiting embrace of thorns.